is confusing!
What's happening?
I'm you.
But I'm from the future. But that's why I'm back.
You killed the DJ?
It was an accident, but then I shot him.
The story begins with a chilling howl in the darkness as someone urgently calls for Billy. In a dim room, a frantic man questions his identity while studying scattered papers and a chalkboard filled with complex equations. He seems close to a breakthrough, but a strange noise interrupts him. Something terrifying appears, forcing him to freeze before narrowly escaping.
Me at the Chelsea, they adore me at the Ritz.
Elsewhere, a lively crowd celebrates as crime boss Sosa honors his son's release from prison, proudly declaring that being a father is his greatest role. The mood quickly darkens when he reveals there is a traitor among them and promises brutal punishment. If you made it this far, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Then returns to the celebration. At the tense gathering, guests socialize uneasily, aware someone is marked for death. Conversations feel forced, and relationships show cracks beneath the surface. Meanwhile, Mike prepares a hotel room with champagne and flowers for Alice, but she calls and predicts his plans. A knock interrupts. It's Nick. Alice warns Mike not to open the door, but he does. Nick invites him for coffee and asks him to handle collections that night. Mike admits he wants to leave the criminal life, but Nick asks for one last favor, and Mike agrees. In the car, Mike fears Nick plans to kill him, but Nick instead gives him a weapon, which Mike refuses. At Nick's house, Mike finds chloroform and learns the plan: knock someone out with it. Nervous and doubtful, Mike follows instructions, but the chloroform fails because it has expired. A violent fight breaks out, ending when another identical Nick suddenly appears. Mike is shocked to see two versions of him.
You take care of it?
Nick?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, I said it was going to get heavy and weird.
The first Nick explains they must clean up quickly because Sosa is coming. When Sosa arrives, he reveals he has hired a killer called the Baron to eliminate the traitor, Mike, at the Zenith Hotel. After Sosa leaves, Nick tells Mike he has lived this night before and that Mike died in the original timeline. They decide to find Nick's past self to change events, but their car is missing. At the party, Sosa maintains control while tensions rise. Nick explains he used a time machine built by an inventor named Simon. In a flashback, Alice meets Simon at a bar and reveals she secretly married Nick, believing he was a garbage truck driver, only to discover he was a killer and unfaithful. She wants to leave, but fears the consequences. Simon admits he needs money for an unusual project, and Alice warns that borrowing from Nick could be dangerous. Nick explains that Simon built the time machine using their loan money. When Simon avoided repayment, Nick tracked him down and found the device in his garage. He confirms it worked and sent him back in time because he could not stop thinking about the day he dies. When Mike asks about the machine, Nick admits he accidentally destroyed it and killed Simon during the chaos. They now have only one chance to fix events. Mike suggests using GPS to track Nick's stolen car, so future Nick reports it missing while present Nick gives a confusing cover story. They find present Nick at a gas station arguing with a cashier about sugar-free candy. The situation escalates until Officer Samantha arrives. Present Nick denies reporting anything stolen, and Samantha eventually dismisses the call and forces the cashier to delete the footage. After she leaves, future Nick criticizes present Nick's behavior. Present Nick, drunk and high, is knocked out by his future self, leading to a chaotic fight in the store involving Mike.
This is why I'm quitting. I'm not just talking about the killing. I'm talking about all of it. I can't do this anymore.
After the fight, present Nick is unconscious. Future Nick reveals that the Baron is a cannibal assassin, alarming Mike. They contact Alice and arrange to meet at a parking garage. Alice quickly understands the situation when she sees two Nicks, recalling Simon's earlier talk about time travel. When present Nick wakes, he struggles to accept the truth and exposes Mike and Alice's relationship. Future Nick remains focused, insisting they concentrate on surviving the night. The group goes to a secret apartment shared by the two Nicks. Alice recognizes it as a hidden love shack and confronts Nick for setting Mike up. Future Nick admits they expected Mike to die sooner. Alice is devastated to learn that Simon is dead. To test time travel effects, she stabs present Nick in the leg, and the same wound appears on future Nick, confirming the paradox. Mike questions Nick about his feelings for Alice, and Nick admits he once believed their relationship was over. Alice then discovers a hidden cat named Kingpin and becomes angry that Nick kept it a secret, criticizing him for neglecting the pet's health.
Just when I thought I'd grasped the level of your deceit.
Meanwhile, at a strip club, Sosa celebrates while Jimmy Boy seems distracted. Present Nick calls Sosa and claims Mike is captured and ready for the Baron. Back at the apartment, future Nick outlines a plan but insists they first confront their personal issues. They revisit the moment their relationship began to fall apart, including an argument over a TV show. Mike reveals he watched all 157 episodes for Alice. Future Nick then reveals that Alice learns she is pregnant on the day of Mike's funeral. The news shocks everyone, and Alice realizes her child would grow up without a father. Future Nick explains he returned to prevent that outcome. They prepare to face the Baron, who prefers capturing victims alive. If you made it this far, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. The plan is to pretend to hand Mike over while future Nick waits outside to take the shot. As they wait, present Nick asks about Mike and Alice's relationship. They recall meeting at a wedding, where they bonded over their troubled relationships and shared a quiet, meaningful moment together. Suddenly, loud knocking interrupts them. They set the trap and restrain Mike, but present Nick betrays the group, revealing the plan to the Baron. The Baron appears to agree and shoots Mike, leaving Alice devastated. However, it is revealed to be a staged test. The Baron is actually an actor named Chad, recruited by future Nick to see if present Nick would betray them. The plan works, confirming future Nick's suspicions.
Do I know you? Yeah, in the future. But I need your help in the past, which is today.
With the test complete, future Nick prepares for the real Baron and sends Sosa their location. Soon after, the real Baron arrives, calm and threatening, carrying tools and chloroform. As tension rises, a sniper suddenly shoots him through the window. Armed attackers rush in, and a violent shootout begins. Amid the chaos, Mike grabs the cat as bullets tear through the apartment. A warning about a grenade is shouted just before a massive explosion destroys the room. Mike and Alice emerge bruised from the wreckage. Future Nick arrives surveying the destruction sarcastically. At a club, Jimmy Boy struts triumphantly through cheering crowds and confetti as Roid Rage Ryan replaces the deceased doorman. Back at the destroyed apartment, Fire Department Presence buys time. Present Nick offers Alice an emerald green stripper bra. Sosa calls asking if it's over, but future Nick delivers bad news. Mike killed the Baron and all his assistants. Mike is now on the run from the entire organization. Jimmy Boy orders every member to find Mike and bring his head. A shocking truth emerges. Jackie Napal was the real rat, having confessed while bleeding out in future Nick's arms. Mike realizes he cannot easily prove it since everyone loved Jackie, but he declares it's time to crash the party. Jimmy Boy's father sits him down, revealing he found baby Jimmy abandoned under a dumpster and promises eternal protection. He teases two special surprises. Jimmy unwraps the first, learning Mike is the traitor who got him imprisoned. For the second surprise, Jimmy storms out cursing after a humiliating experience. His father reassures him it's psychosomatic pressure. Alice warns that if anyone escapes alive, she and Mike are dead. Nick insists Mike stay behind since he's done with this life. Both Nicks prepare to enter the deadly party house filled with grade-A killers, including Roid Rage Ryan. Nick greets Ryan warmly, saying their business was never personal. Ryan laughs it off, charging everything to the game. Chaos erupts as bodyguards clear the room. Future Nick fights henchmen hand-to-hand on the stairs while present Nick battles below. Dumbass Tony gives an absurd motivational speech guarding the kitchen. Mike refuses to stay in the car and storms in, taking down gangsters in a rampage. A grenade explodes, filling the house with smoke. Both Nicks trade brutal blows with wave after wave of enemies. Mike saves Nick from an ambush. A supposed ally turns hostile with a gun, but a struggle erupts. The DJ catches a stray bullet. Jimmy Boy confronts Mike with bizarre complaints. A bodyguard calls Nick a traitor as bullets fly again. Jimmy Boy reveals Jackie Napal was the real rat and screams he's coming for his father Sosa. Mike demands Sosa release the hostage. Sosa discovers two Nicks exist and is bewildered. Future Nick steps forward, admitting he framed Mike as the rat himself, and that all their mistakes led here.
So we're all here because we made mistakes. Mike never should have been a gangster in the first place.
Sosa devises a crueler plan targeting who Nick loves. A gunshot rings out aimed at Quick Draw Mike. Alice drops her weapon in shock as present Nick is hit. They rush the wounded Nick into a vehicle, racing desperately toward the hospital while asking how far it is. Nick demands music to ease the pain as a familiar song plays. Future Nick encourages him to keep breathing. Mike urges Nick to keep singing with him to stay conscious. Alice trembles behind the wheel, fighting tears. The car screeches to a halt, and Alice breaks down sobbing. Then hope sparks. They realize they can fix this. Though Alice insists Nick is gone and the time machine is destroyed, with Simon dead, Mike asks why they cannot use the other one. Alice is stunned. He didn't know about Simon's second machine. She confirms another time machine exists. Alice declares it's time for round 2 as the crew prepares to travel back and set everything right again.